Palatine Town Council pay a premium for directors and officers insurance.
Okay. Thank you. Paul.
Now, other than the building or anything like that, is there anyone in charge of our American flag and the flagpole? Do you have anyone? Just so that you know, we had quite the black eye the other day. We were the only municipality that did not have that flag at half-mast for 9/11. I think maybe the supervisor should make somebody in charge of it, or whatever. I heard many comments.
Both buildings.
Both buildings.
I agree.
Yeah. I just, I think that was a disgrace.
Yes. Amen.
Good catch.
Thank you, Paul. Any other? Judge Steiger.
Yes, I just want to make a few comments. I've been in this town justice position for coming up on 30 years. I've dealt with all kinds of crimes. I've dealt with rapists, attempted murders. I've had a couple of those. I've dealt with petty larcenies and a whole bunch of things, but I've never dealt with somebody stealing amongst ourselves. And I'm referring to the pictures on my door that are my personal property that were taken by me and the district attorney's office. And they are my pictures.
I took those down and I'm glad to give them back to you, but your personal property does not belong on public property.
I disagree with you.
So I'll give it right back, but personal property should not reside on a public door.
Then how come you have all of those flyers over there and everything? They're all public property.
If it's your suggestion that we remove those, then we could do that too.
Well, I'm going to continue to put those pictures out there. I'm going to use super glue, and I'm going to make sure that those pictures do not come off that door. And if I have to take legal action, I will do that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nancy Claiborne, and I've lived here for 13 years, and I pay taxes, and I support local businesses. Just wanting to make that statement. A few meetings ago, Paul Goff said that in answering a question of Mr. Subic, said that a formal budget for the town building was not done, and that he would do that. And I would like to know when that budget will be available to the public in order to review it.
Would you like me to answer that?
Did you have a building committee meeting?
No.
Okay, no, that's all right. We can talk up on the side.
I'll let you know after.
I'd like the public to know when.
Address this lady.
I'll give you your answer if the supervisor will let me.
We'll address it in council comments. Any other public comment?
Good evening, Chris Novak. Couple of things. Some really good, but I reviewed the set of plans that I was able to finally get my hands on Monday afternoon for the bids that were due today. And I really implore the council to try to get somebody to help in the role of preparation. Without getting into minutia, but I want to point two things out here that we could have picked up before these were made and we could have made adjustments. Number one, if anyone has looked over the plans and you look in the placement of the building where the restrooms are and where the mechanical rooms are, they're to the middle of the building and to the far east side, I'll call it, against Route 10. All the services for the building, such as the water and the septic, are to the west, which means that in this plan, all the plumbing and all the water have to run completely across the entire site in both directions. If you flipped the building around and made the mechanicals and the restrooms in the opposite direction, you would have saved a ton of money and a ton of problems in the future, because now you have the pipes that run completely under the slab all the way across the building. If there's a problem, you're going to have to either jackhammer through the slab or run them exteriorly through the back of the building, underneath the soil and back to the septic. I mean, this should have been picked up in like the first hour. The second one I want to bring in here is that you ran this building's on a slab, okay? So basically, you're building a double, it's like a double wide modular on a slab with a gravel driveway and no landscaping. You could have probably gotten a manufactured building for about a third. But you're running all the pipes for all the zones, which I believe here, 4 or 5 individual zones on baseboard heat. If you're running all the pipes through the slab for an additional cost of maybe 7 or 8%, you could have had radiant heat, which turning radiant heat, you could have been provided with a dual instantaneous LP gas boilers, one for domestic hot water, the other one for heat, and you could have run this through radiant, and your 10-year window of savings would have tripled what you're going to spend in the boiler. Well, I mean, this is why you need someone to plan at the very beginning for this stuff. This is just 2 points right here. And I just gleaned these plans for 20, 30 minutes, and I found these 2 points. Please, I implore you, get somebody who understands. You got an opportunity now to start over again because you didn't have enough bids. You can get someone who does this, put this out for public comment, work on it, and do something that's really makes sense. Not this. Some of this does not make sense at all. And you could have figured this out in no time. Okay? On a positive note, good news. I was able to speak to a representative for Cornell University, David Gray Cox, in addition to Paul Rohr over at Business and Economic Development, and some other interested parties. Vince DeSantis, who's in Gloversville, he wrote the book Small Communities in a Post-Industrial Age. We have a chance to bring a local food hub into our town. If any of you don't know what a local food hub is, a local food hub is where small, mid, even large-scale farmers bring their products and animals and a number of other things into a central location where they can be redistributed and processed. It's almost like it's a distribution network. We fit the profile excellently because of our proximity to a thruway exit and the fact that we already have a slaughterhouse here in town. For those who haven't visited Nelliston, it is halal, but they'll do everything but pigs and poultry. And we can get a 5A facility brought into town really economically. The upshot is this could bring 24 full-time jobs here to this town, good jobs, directly, and maybe up to another 40 indirect jobs because of the number of goods, services, trucks, tag-on businesses, and so forth. We're looking to put a working group together. I have the renowned veterinarian Judy St. Ledger's on board with us. I've invited the Amish community representative to come there. It would be great, Madam Supervisor, if we could get somebody from the town board directly to be a liaison with us and be part of this group and put it together. But this could be really big. It may take a year and a half maybe to put all it together. We still have some obstacles. We'd have to go through the planning board. We'd have to do a number of things. This is a super positive development. It also means that local farmers can sell their food right here in the village. So we could do a hybrid where it's to direct to consumer, and then it could also be to restaurants and industrial suppliers alike. Okay? I just wanted to keep you apprised of that because this is big news. Okay? Thank you.
Do you have a first meeting set up?
We got a working group together. I'm going to start emailing. I did speak to Bill Roy. He has funds through Empire State Development right now, and they can get a consultant, and we can, they have money together. They do have money allocated for something like this. Okay? So this is really good.
Will you put me on the working group email?
I sure will.
Thank you.
Okay.
So can I comment on that? Give me your comment in. You might want to check with Ken Freinhofer up on McKinley Road. They're doing that right now.
They're actually a direct-to-consumer model over at Freebird Farm,
Right.
which
but
is
then-
different than what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a combination of a cooperative and a food hub, which
Right.
means we would sell, it would be, 80 or 90 farmers if you include all our Amish community friends.
I believe he's trying to do that, so you might want to check.
Okay,
with
I
him.
sure will.
He'd be a good resource for you.
I've met him a couple of times and we'll have a chat.
Skip.
From a layman's point of view who has no knowledge of engineering, much of what you say, Chris, sounds sensible. I'd like to know if you have a background in engineering.
I do not have a background as an engineer, but I've been in the construction fields for over 30 years, managed large projects up to $3 or $4 million, and I've built stuff like this, okay?
Thank you.
Hospitals, churches.
Can I answer your question on that modular home you were talking about? Harvest Homes had put in a bid before, I think it was about $69,000. Cusel was the contractor who had to finish off the inside of that, and I believe that was $320,000, so that comes up to $390,000. Because when they bring them in, they only bring them in as a shell, not the inside's not done on it. I mean, that was something that we did look at. Okay.
I can help you out.
Any other comments before we close public comment? No other comments? Need a motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I was in favor.
I'll just put it in one.
Moving on to the minutes. Let's go in chronological order. August 26, 2015. There was one resolution that we passed. I just want to be clear that that resolution was passed. This is 1, 2, 3, the fourth page. Okay, so on a motion by Councilwoman Whitman, seconded by Councilwoman McCullough, the board passed the resolution with amendments to take, is my change. And then just 11,601 from general fund for additional fees and 4,056. So there's a record of the resolution.
Well, that's what it said. It said board voted aye to transfer the funds.
But there was more to that resolution, so we need to say that we passed the resolution. Those were the amendments to the
Passed
resolution.
as amended.
Passed.
As
Yeah,
amended,
and
okay.
keep
Okay.
the specific amendments.
Because
Yeah.
it was amended. Okay, passed as amended, okay.
Yeah, passed the resolution. Yeah. Were there any other changes? Need a motion?
Make the motion to accept the minutes of August 26th. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Moving on to September 14th, 2015. Any changes? Okay. Motion?
I make a motion to approve the September 14th minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Moving on to the September 18th minutes. We need the second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I oppose. Any abstentions? Okay. Moving on to reports. Art.
All right, since last month, Crutch Road was paved by Hanson and then shouldered by us. Turned out real nice. The mowing of Second Pass is finished, took a little longer. We had one of the tractors break down and it still broke down in the garage. We just got parts to put it back together. We're currently hauling sand to get the pile up. I gave each of you an up-to-date on the machinery inventory. And last week I attended the highway conference. I'd like to thank the board for allowing me the opportunity to attend it. That's all I got, unless you guys got questions.
Any questions for Artie? Okay, thank you. Cheryl.
Okay, last month I had 2 dog pickups. I handled 2 complaints. I had 2 reports of found dogs that were retrieved by their owners. I dealt with 1 rabies case, which has been completed. And this Friday, the 25th, is my ag and market inspection. That's all I have.
Is there anything you need from us for that?
No.
Thank you and great work on that, sick animal case.
Thank you.
Who ended up doing the work on that?
Dr. Ennis.
Was it adopted yet?
Yes.
And Leon is not here tonight. Okay, we have an assessor's report in our packages. Okay. Any notes on the report? Nope. And Cliff, is Cliff here?
Cliff had leave, but he does want you to go over what he had written.
Okay.
There is a written report, he wanted you to go over that. That's what he wants you to go over. He says he needs some direction back.
Well, he needs to contact DSS in regards to human options. What he needs, I'm assuming.
I think he needs permission to do something about it,
I
yeah.
thought the property was condemned.
Huh?
Wasn't it condemned? It was condemned and the people apparently moved back into it. Looking for it, on
Murphy Road.
Murphy Road. It's from a few years back.
They were already taken out one mobile home. They went into another one, now the other one is as bad as it was.
So he condemned the first one. And then packing behind their backs. He's talking about DSL. I don't know.
Can you get the health officer
DSL.
involved?
Yes, usually you do, get the health officer, that's what's required. Huh? Roading. That's roading. So I think we need to authorize him to move forward with getting the health officer involved and the necessary departments as far as,
There's also, somebody he's been working with from that other, that ESS.
DSS.
Yeah, he's been working with them too.
Says he needs to get a hold of DSS with other departments and we all have to be on the same page.
I'm on board with it.
Why don't they just report to the state police or the sheriff's department? Then they come in and just make sure everybody got there.
Usually I think they do.
He's looking for directions as to what he should do.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Well, I would suggest that you call them because they'll contact everybody else and just show up.
So contact the state.
State police. Tell them there's, I don't know the condition of the house, if there's children living in there. It's
I'm not
dangerous.
sure that there is children, it just says contact DSS. But it could be, it didn't say CP. Either way, there's human, it's unfit for human occupancy.
But they'll get who needs it.
He's asking if we will back him, of course we will, he's our code enforcement.
I don't think we need a decision. I'll just give him a call, let him know.
I just think that if you call them, state police, then well, it would be them to handle it. So you'll
So
contact
company.
I'll give him a call.
then he won't have to worry about calling all these other agencies.
Okay. Attorney Subic is not here. Linda?
I just got that, I got word that the grant was turned down that Sarah had applied for. I guess there was a couple stipulations, of why it was turned down, but, that brings up the problem of what we're gonna do with our records. I'm getting accused of letting them sit out in a container that's unsecure and unsafe and letting them rot, and I'm getting accused of it, but I have approached the board many times, and I don't know what to do. I need guidance from the board to tell me what to do. I can tell you what I could do, but I could put the records in my office and take my office up to my house. The records are secure.
Palatine Bridge offered space, so permanent records could go over to Palatine Bridge. The records that you don't need regular daily access to.
And how do we know what those are?
You know, the old archive records.
Well, judge's records can't go because he needs them on a daily basis.
And we had also talked about cleaning out
That,
this room
that's
here.
impossible. That's impossible to put them in there.
They won't fit.
Huh? They won't fit in there, number one, and we don't have enough room for everything that's in that room.
Are there mobile, isn't there such a thing as mobile,
Pads,
pods that are,
climate control,
climate controlled, thank you?
it all depends on what you want to spend on it.
Well, we don't have a choice.
I mean, Palatine Bridge is free, and it's right down the road.
But it's upstairs, right?
Can
We were
just-
told it was upstairs.
Can we at least just check into the cost and see what the cost is, something like that? The pods?
I know
Well, it was
from-
said that we should take them to Minden. I don't know if who said that we should take them to Minden has ever been to Minden.
But they're
But
up-
Minden's records are upstairs in their highway department. It's not climatically controlled, and the stairway getting to it is not suitable for someone to go up and down. So town of Minden's out there, definitely. I've been there, I've seen it, I've gone up there, I've seen it.
So I still think if you could just check it around and
Do you
see.
want to do it or you want us?
Do you want us to help you do that? And see if we can find someplace, something that
It needs to be accessible on a daily basis. I don't know that Linda can close the office and run down to if it's not open all the time. Do we know the hours of operation of the?
She's there less than I am.
I think they have to be on premise,
We can check that.
Well, I'll look into it, but now that we didn't get the grant, something's gonna have to be done with the records. Because I'm not gonna be accused of letting these records ruin, and it's defamation of character to say that about me, in my book.
So we need to check to see if they need to be on premise, if that is a requirement. I believe it is, I don't know. And we can check into a mobile climate control unit. And then, once we have the answers to those questions, we can proceed with an offer from the Village of Palatine Bridge if necessary.
It's not climate controlled.
No.
Village of Palatine Bridge upstairs isn't climate controlled.
Ambulance for meetings there.
That's all I got.
Bob, your report.
The town, I was served on Monday of this week by Attorney Ayers on behalf of Mr. Spencer and others with another Article 78 proceeding and declaratory judgment action concerning the actions that we've taken since July. And that matter has been adjourned for argument to October 5th. And if we have an executive session, which I suggest we need one tonight, I'll have more to say about that at that time.
October what?
5th? In the morning.
5, right?
October 5.
5, okay, I probably said 6.
Can I ask who?
When did that happen?
Can I ask who's named on that lawsuit? Because I.
Well, it's,
I mean, who it's to, who it's against,
it's,
because we haven't seen it.
the Town of Palatine council members, Richard Becker Jr., Sandra McCullough, Betty Sanders, and Michelle Whiteman as town officers, and Sarah Nicoli as town supervisor, are the named respondents defendants.
So can I ask your professional opinion why we didn't get copies of these?
Well, I was served in my capacity as a town officer on Monday morning around 9:30, and apparently that was deemed to be sufficient service. I am a town officer, so service on me was service on the town.
Because we've gotten them in the past, that's why.
Well, yes, I don't know why the individual person's name were not served. That was done in the past. I don't know what happened.
And did the clerk also do that?
Yes, I did. Monday also. Is there a time on that adjournment?
Well,
Is this something that just you are going to as the attorney for
I
the
had,
town?
no, Mr. Ayers and I had a conversation in the courtroom, and later on that day, I think there was originally going to be a further argument the following day, on the 22nd, Tuesday, and I had a conversation. I sent a letter to the judge indicating that I was in trial in the morning in Albany, and I had a matter in trial in the afternoon in Montgomery County, and the judge asked me did I have a suggestion as to what date the matter could be made returnable, and I suggested October 5th, and he seemed to be